My son said something to me that punched me in the gut, and I need to share it with you. Good morning. So let me set the scene for you. Last week, we were walking, my son Ben and I, Ben's 15. We were walking to our post office box, and it's about a mile away. And on our way back, we start talking about our old life, pre-bus life. And Ben turns to me and says, "Yeah, you were really angry back then and yelled all the time. You were really tired." Yeah, he wasn't wrong. He showed me a truth about myself that I hadn't looked at in a really long time because I've worked so hard to get where I am now. But sometimes these moments come up where we forget who we used to be because that was surviving. That was doing the best that I could. I mean, back at that time, back in like 2018, 2019, I was burnt out. My marriage was on the rocks. It was failing. I felt so unloved and alone. I was working 60 hours a week in my grooming salon. The kids got what was left of me, and it wasn't fair to them. And so having this moment where we're walking to the post office box and my teenager gives me a truth that I was forced to look at. You know, I thought I healed that version of me until my teen was a mirror to reflect back to me what still needed healing. Looking back, I can see the exhaustion. It wasn't strength, it was survival. I was doing the best I could with what I had. While we talk, I'm gonna do my makeup. You know, like in that moment, so much guilt came up of like, oh my gosh, my kids did not deserve that version of me. And I can hold both at the same time with an and. My kids didn't deserve that version of me. And I was doing the best I could with what I had until I could do better. Before, I would just carry that shame and tell myself, oh, you idiot, I can't believe you did this. How could you parent this way? Going on and on and on about this shame cycle where I would just blame, shame, criticize myself for who I used to be. And I've grown so very much. And so now, when there's a moment where my teenager or my other children tell me, hey, you used to do this, I use it as a mirror to own up to it and accept that, yeah, that's who I was. That's who I used to be. I've learned that I don't have to keep carrying that shame if we recognize it. After he said that, I apologized. I said, you know what? You're not wrong. You didn't deserve that parent. I'm sorry that that's the one that you had right then. And he said, Mom, I know you were doing your best and you've come really far. Yeah, we both have. And you know what's wild is like this same guilt that I carried for so long about my previous parenting through generational trauma, you know, lives online now. And parent shaming, like social media makes it so much worse. Just from what we've lived through, right? We have been blamed, shamed, criticized, judged, like any and everything that is vile and disgusting that you can imagine someone saying has been said to us. You know, and it's not just us. It's everywhere. You share one small thing about your life and you're going to get a million different opinions on what you should be doing, how you should be doing it, why you should be doing it. And just the blaming, shaming, criticizing cycle. We've been judged for how we live, how we parent, even judged for simply sharing our story. People forget that behind the screen, we are all human and we are trying to do our best every single day. You know, there was a recent article that came out in Parent magazine, and even experts are talking about the parent shaming. Social media has changed parenting into a performance. We compare, we defend, we apologize. Like, the parent shaming cycle never really seems to end online. This constant external judgment feeds our internal guilt. It's like every mean comment becomes proof of the lies that we believe about ourselves. Hearing that from Ben was hard, no doubt. Carrying that shame of parent guilt for that many years is not an easy thing to hear. But it's so beautiful when you can take that, use it as a mirror, and reflect on who you used to be and who you've grown to become. We don't have to keep carrying this shame around, especially because I recognize that was hard for Ben. When you can recognize and accept that, yeah, that's who I used to be, you apologize and say, hey, I'm really sorry that was who I was. And then that creates new fertile soil for growth, for continuing to grow together and building a stronger relationship with your kids. My parents never really did that. My parents never accepted that my experience was in fact valid. My parents didn't want that guilt to be real. And for a long time, I did the same thing. I didn't want that guilt to be real. I didn't want to accept that I caused my children trauma. And at the end of the day, healing can't occur until we have acceptance that that actually happened. We can't rewrite the past, but we can choose better in our present day to have an even more beautiful future. What I've learned from this experience and, having that walk with Ben, it really opened my eyes to how far we've all grown. Every single one of us, not just me. You've grown too. You're not the same person you were a year ago, 6 months ago. Heck, even you're not the same person you were yesterday. Because every day we're trying to choose better. I want to give you 3 things that I really learned from this, and I would love it if you carried with you. You are allowed to change. Yes, you are allowed to change, to become, to grow, to choose different things. Kids learn best by being that example and living that. Your kids seeing your growth is the healing, because they see just how far you've come. When you try to choose better in every single moment, your kids see that. They're little sponges. They soak it up. And because you're growing and evolving and changing, that frees them up to do the same thing, to grow, evolve, and change. Number 2, you're not who you were when you made those mistakes. That version of you that made those mistakes got you here. If you didn't make those mistakes, you wouldn't be who you are. Those moments, those failures really are lessons to help you grow into who you want to be. We carry that shame of not being the perfect person then. But how were you going to be? You didn't know any better. You were literally doing your best. Compassion beats perfection. The world doesn't need more perfect parents because the perfect parent doesn't exist. What the world needs is more honest parents. Parents being honest with themselves, with their kids, with their past, and accepting that, yeah, that's who I was. That's where I was in life. And now I'm on my conscious healing journey. When I know better, I choose better. We seek validation in so many other people and material things, and the validation we need is within ourselves. When we use those opportunities, like my conversation with Ben, as a mirror to reflect on our past, see where we have been, accept that that's not who we are anymore, and we can then continue to grow consciously. Everybody has an opinion. And the old saying is true. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and they all stink. There will always be people that have comments about your parenting, how you choose to raise your kids, the activities you do with them, the clothes that they wear, their choices in music. Everybody has an opinion. And truthfully, the only opinions that really matter are yours and your kids. Parent guilt is real. I've lived it. But social media doesn't get to define how good of a parent you are. If you're watching this and you're carrying guilt, I want you to breathe. You are still becoming who you're meant to be. Give yourself a little bit of grace here. Our kids don't need to see us be perfect. Our kids need to see us get up and try again after making a mistake, after failing, admitting that, that is what happened, apologizing for that heavy experience, and then choosing better when that same scenario comes up next time. Okay, are you ready for one of my favorite parts of the video? I'm gonna go change into my outfit, so hang on one quick second. You'll see my full look put together, and then we'll wrap this up. Now I'm ready to take on the day, huh, Weezers? What do you think? I gotta start homeschool with Eli soon, and we've got a little field trip planned for today, but this is what I'm gonna be wearing, my sustainable outfit. This is a skirt I thrifted for $4. This I got off the Cantha Bay Besties page. It's an eclipse dress. I love to wear it as a top. These are my ring stack that I got going on today. Some Larimar, some Tiger's Eye, Bloodstone. This is an agate. This is spiny oyster shell, some sterling silver spoon ring. And then I've got moldavite and Herkimer diamond. And then I have watermelon tourmaline. Got my favorite earrings from Leela Delvey. Got blue selenite. We have quartz crystal. This one is an amazing family tree pendant my friend Kalina got me. How cute is that? And of course, my sweet little hat. I got a big feather, some thistle in there. Got this hat for $4. Yeah. Huh, Kevers, you like it? You like it, buddy? I surely appreciate you coming over today, talking with me. These topics that we discuss in and share, they're not easy in any stretch of the means. They're deep, they're hard conversations to have. I want you to remember, you are doing your best every single day in each moment that you're in. You're consciously choosing, you're consciously choosing better. You've got this, all right? This whole parenting thing is not easy. It is hard stuff. And I am so grateful you're walking your intentional healing journey right along with me. And there's nobody else that I would rather have these conversations with than you. Thank you for being here and being you. I love you so much.